has been a work in progress for 2 legislative sessions. We're in the end zone on getting this implemented for 2012. One of the goals is to establish a season for the tags that are mandated by statute. The statute requires that there'll be 1 tag for each species that had 50 tags in the previous year. So today, when you look at that table, the species are set because we had 50 tags in mule deer, pronghorn, Nelson, Rocky Mountain elk, and California bighorn sheep last year. So we have 1 tag in each of those for this dream tag process. At the time of the testimony, the discussion involved that the seasons would be similar to Partnership in Wildlife, where it's a stratified hunt. So when these tags are issued, what you've approved today for those seasons in the 1331, 1341, and 1371, and the antelope across the weapon types, the elk also would follow those seasons that you approved. Now the Nelson bighorn sheep, when I established this recommendation, had the exclusion that was established for Partnership in Wildlife last year. It's up to you whether you want to continue with that. Also, I included it in there because of the discussion to have it be similar to Partnership in Wildlife that's already in effect. And then, of course, the California bighorn sheep would follow the California sheep seasons. So essentially what you're looking at is the approval of the seasons and to meet that request. So if you have questions in regards to the Dream Tag raffle itself, I certainly can answer those today. I provided that information sheet just for background since it is new. But the intent is to establish a season so that as we go forward with getting this implemented, which we're shooting for March, we have the seasons in place to provide the public. So.
Okay, Maureen. Thanks. Bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Ray.
Thank you. You know, I didn't read the law change that created the Dream Tag here right before we walked in the commission meeting, but I'm trying to remember. If you could refresh us, why does the commission have any authority over the Dream Tag? I thought the department had all the authority over it. So why are we trying to prove some? What is our legal basis for proving this?
Well, we need a framework for the season for the hunters. You do seasons, and when I talked to the LCB, even though the change went to the department, there is still purview in regards to your consideration as to the seasons on the ground. Should there be concerns about a season, excluding a unit, like you've had other discussions in some of these statewide hunts, it's an opportunity to address those. So
where's the line of jurisdiction between the commission and the department in creating these regulations? What can we do? What do we have authority over? What do they have authority over?
We have the administrative authority over the tags and trying to get this program in place, essentially, and then the seasons is still considered the commission.
The season dates,
because there's other NRS in regards to the commission.
Season dates is our only purview.
Yes.
Then. Is that right?
That's how I understand it. It's new. We're still learning.
Anything besides season dates we have authority over?
No.
Okay. Clear.
Okay, any other questions from the commission? Okay, seeing none, take it out to the public. Any public comment on Dream Tag regulation? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. Mr. Chairman. Nope. Jason.
For the record, Jason Peterson, I'd like to get some clarification here. I see this little pamphlet that's floating around here, and on this it states that, I guess I'll begin at the beginning, all of the money raised by raffle benefits the preservation, protection, management, or restoration of game and its habitat. Is there anywhere in the legislature that says exactly what percentage of this money? Because according to what I read online, it states that there will be certain administration fees, but it does not clearly define what those administration fees are. The other question I have is benefits the preservation, protection, management, or restoration of game and its habitat. Here in Nevada, are the monies that I'm going to put out that go to this organization that's running this going to be used in other states? There's nothing in there that says to me that they have to use that money here in the state of Nevada. When I looked up the company to find out where they put money out, over 95% of the organizations that they give grants to are not here in the state of Nevada. And I'll just say personally, seeing the ACLU on that list kind of offends me a little bit. Another question, and this is from my own personal knowledge. Why is an outside agency handling something other than the Department of Wildlife, taking the power out of the hands of the commission for the individuals who make the decisions for how wildlife should be managed in the state, where this money should be sent to, what programs it should be used for? None of this makes sense to me, and I'd just like to get some clarification of that. Thank you.
Well, on the last point, legislature spoke. That's the end of it. Legislature basically created the Dream Tag program, and it is not within, with the limited exception we just heard, it is not within the jurisdiction of this commission and the department and this foundation. Apparently, will be working together, and that's what the legislature determined. So we have no, in other words, the time to fight that battle is long gone.
So then my question is, and without being sarcastic, because I can be at times, can you not turn around and say the season's one day? Because if you do that, how many hunters are going to turn around and put their money in for this? If I'm all for opportunities to be able to turn around and get additional opportunities to hunt. And when I see something like this for the average guy who doesn't make a lot of money, that I can't afford heritage tax and stuff like that, I'm all for it. I'd be willing to set aside $100 a month out of my paycheck and save it up for a year and turn around and buy these raffle tickets. But not when I don't know if this money's going to be used in the state. I mean, that to me seems ridiculous. So if that's the case, can we not make a point and say to the legislature, fine, you're right, we do have to do this?
I could address a number of those issues. We can do it offline, or I could do it now.
How quickly?
Pardon?
How quickly?
Well, I said we're running out of time.
Yeah.
If you'd be satisfied, we can talk after. I can fill you in what the legislation actually says, what we're required to do, what the foundation is required to do. The intent is to put all that money into Nevada. Whether or not the department gets it all, that's still up in the air, because there'll be other people that can apply for it. But it's intended to go on the ground in Nevada, for sure.
Do we have any type of regulatory committee or anything that, I mean, they say an advisory board is there.
The advisory board has been appointed. The governor has positions. The speaker of the assembly has positions. So, we have a makeup of sportsmen on that committee that are running.
We can speak more afterwards. Sure.
It's two former chairmen of the Wildlife Commission. I'm on the committee as a non-voting member. The vice chairman of the Wildlife Commission is supposed to go to those meetings. So the makeup is there to ensure that the money goes to the right place, without a doubt.
You've reported at a future meeting? Will we resolve that?
Well,
excuse me?
We get an informational report. Well, we got quite a bit of information. Mark.
Yeah, I mean, the regulations. The department's in new uncharted territory this year. We were given the authority to set regulations ourselves for the energy bill that was passed, AB 307, as well as the Dream Tag. We've never done that before. We just finished our first hearing. It went fairly well. We will set regulations for the operation of the tag part of it that we would have any authority over. The raffle is being done and completed by the foundation and the board with a contractor who will do the drawing and whatnot. But we can certainly give you an update of where we're at with the regulations and all that, because it'll be pretty well done, and we're ready to sell raffle tickets. By then.
Okay, well, let's get that on the agenda then for March.
Chairman.
Go ahead.
The second to the last sentence, is that a typo or something? It says bonus points will not revert to zero on the same species if a silver state tag is obtained. Doesn't that mean Dream Tag? Shouldn't that be talking about Dream Tag?
I had so many of these. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a typo. Let me look at it. I had so many of these regs in front of me at the time, trying to write them all at the same time. So, was that on the informational paper?
Yeah, the support material for the CR 1204 2012 green tags.
I'm sure it's a typo. It's there.
Yeah, it's a typo.
And
I should say
the other
yes.
thing, I got a little information from
That's just an informational
a
paper.
lot of the different cabs. They're a little disappointed. They weren't even consulted about this. Didn't go through the normal process, I guess, why.
Well, I think the answer to that is that nothing about the Dream Tag went through the normal process, and if it's outside of the purview of the commission, it's outside of the purview of the cabs. It's just legislation that was passed, and we've dealt with this for a number of years. That it's been around, and so yeah, I think at this point it's very limited input. For the commission and the cabs, and that's the way it was designed by the legislature. And so, if the cabs and the commission don't like it, we can go to the legislature and try to change it. But at this point, I don't see anything we can do. Okay. Any other public comment? Any other commission comment or discussion? Okay, I think we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt CR 12-4 2012 Dream Tag regulation as submitted by the department.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, motion passes with one abstention, one no. Okay, moving on. Agenda item 23.